Great pleasure to meet you, Heather Graham. I'm Shane. Hello from Australia.
Shane, it's so great to talk to you.
Have you ever been down under, visited or worked down here?
I have, and I kind of want to sing their song, "The Land Down Under." But no, I've been a bunch. I've been to Sydney, maybe like 4 times. I've been to Melbourne once. I've been to Perth once. It's a gorgeous place. I would love to go back.
Yeah, well, there's lots of productions down here. Maybe, you might be able to direct something, act in
Oh yeah,
something. Who knows?
yeah, I would love it.
Chosen Family, your second directing gig. It's been a few years in between. You wrote, direct, produced. Is there extra pressure being a producer when you're trying to make a movie?
You know, when I started in the business, I thought producers were the fanciest people who had so much money, and I had to try to impress them because they were the most important people. And now that I've become a producer, it is so hard. It's such a long road to get movies made. And a lot of times you're not getting paid the most money. And it's an incredibly hard job, unless you're one of the biggest producers in the business.
Was it a story you've had like in your top shelf for a while and ready to go, or is it something that you used, maybe things that you've had in your own life to turn into a screenplay?
Yeah, I have been working on this script for, to be honest, years and just kind of fine tuning it. And I wanted to celebrate my friends who are my chosen family. And that was my goal when I was writing the script and try to find humor in some of the painful situations that I've been in.
Well, you sort of combine relationships, dating, family with yoga and positivity. So you're mixing it up.
I am. I mean, that's what I've used to try to survive some of my challenges in my life. So, and I try to find humor in it and kind of make fun of myself at the same time.
Is punctualities a real thing?
No, it's just something I came up with one day. I do Pilates and I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was. It was funny. I'd never heard of it. So you could almost copyright that maybe.
I mean, there are people that do these workouts where you're punching the air and you're screaming and things like that. And I've gone to some classes like that. So that's how I thought of it.
Have you always been like that, very attentive to your health and well-being and spiritual side? Is that something that's always been part of you?
I think when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I wasn't as athletic, but I think as I became an actress, at first I got into karate. I did taekwondo, and then I took dance classes, and then I started doing yoga, and that was when I found my true love of yoga. I am obsessed with yoga.
Well, I've seen you dancing in a few movies, in particular, Grey Matters. There were some great dance moves in that
Wow,
movie.
that's cool you remember that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have an encyclopedic brain of pretty much all movies.
Wow, that is incredible. I mean, I did learn how to salsa dance for Gray Matters. And actually, I was walking in the park yesterday and everyone was doing salsa dancing. So that was a really cool skill to learn. And I learned how to swing dance and swingers. And I do love dancing.
And you play, or well, I don't know if you do, but playing guitar and shout as well.
I've taken guitar lessons. I'm not very good, but I can somewhat play. Yeah, you do really have a good memory. That's wild.
Well, it's my job, but I love being a movie analyst.
Wow.
I like the location, Rhode Island in Chosen Family. Did that have something to do with filming there and setting it there? Finn's Harborside Restaurant. I'd love to go there now, just seeing it in the movie.
I know it is a really beautiful place. Like so much of Rhode Island is on the water. We shot there because our financier, that is where he lives, and so one of the conditions of him financing the film was to shoot it there. And they have a good tax credit, and it is a beautiful backdrop.
There's a few serious issues in your story with the sister and the sort of the relationship with religion as well with your dad and family. Was that something you wanted to mix it up so it wasn't all comedy?
You know, I heard of this saying, it's tragedy plus time equals comedy. So I was trying to take things that are upsetting or could be painful and find the humor and find the comedy.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I don't know if you've ever had this, but you're in a relationship and at the time it's so painful, and then when it's over, it can be kind of funny. Like with
yeah.
my struggles with a character, the daughter in the script. I've dated different people that have had kids, and when I look back, and it is kind of humorous when you think about it.
Oh, for sure. I watched the movie twice, and the second viewing, you know it's coming, and you're ready for it. But I wasn't ready for it the first time, I don't think.
No, I mean, it's funny because when you're an adult and you're kind of in the step parent, role, and you're trying to get this kid to like you, but at the same time, they're competing with you. It's a funny dynamic. And so I tried to push it to the limit of what you could take it to. I mean, what the big dance scene, it didn't really happen, but I thought, what if it did? It's funny.
Well, that's a good point because you had a point system for one of the children, and I thought that is, I don't know, has that actually happened? Did that just come to your mind? Because that's kind of children seem to be getting a lot smarter.
Well, I do think that there's a certain entitlement in kids now because I think parenting has gone from maybe too harsh to now super lenient where kids can get away with a lot.
Yeah,
I did have a friend and she was babysitting and she told me the story that that she got her an ice cream. She's like, okay, you have, 10 points, and then when she started like telling her she had to leave or she couldn't stay at the park, she's like, now you've lost 3 points. And I just thought it's cool how kids try to manipulate their parents and often they can be very good at it. And especially nowadays with this kind of parenting where the kid gets to call a lot of the shots. So I
yeah.
kind of wanted to make fun of that.
Well, you did well. I had a good laugh at all that stuff. It was great. Uh,
Good.
I'll talk about the cast in a second, how you chose some of them, but is it harder to choose a child actor than an adult actor? Because I mean, adult actors you probably know, but the two girls in the film, the kids, were they ones you knew, or did you cast them somehow
It
else?
is, you're right. It's harder to choose a kid because they don't have a body of work. You don't have the
Hmm.
same level of, oh, they did all these movies and I can watch all their work. So it is slightly nerve-wracking, but well, the little girl who plays the friend's kid, that is my best friend's daughter, and I know her. So it was really great to have her on set. And
Yeah.
the main little girl who plays Lily is this great actress. She auditioned and she just had this spark and this twinkle. And at the end of her audition, she just said, I love how this character is very mischievous, and I like that she leaned into just having fun with it. And she is a little gem. I mean, she's since then just starred in a TV show with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. So she's doing really well. She's a real prodigy. I mean, not only is she an actress, she is a marathon. She runs. Does competitive
Wow.
dancing. She's an artist. I mean, if you look at her Instagram, it's kind of mind blowing.
I might have to do that.
Ella Grace is her name, and she is a little powerhouse.
Yeah, it's good to see a lot of real good child actors come through because as you would know quite firsthand, some don't. They just sort of disappear after being a big hit early at an early age.
No, I think she has a lot of stamina, and she seems like she's just getting started.
Yeah, good, good. I saw Julia Stiles is also a producer on the film. How did you cast her? You're almost like the perfect sisters. You look like each other.
I mean, I've met her before, but she really helped us so much because her signing on to the film actually got the film made.
Is that
Because
right?
her name combined with my name, we ended up getting the financing. So I'm very grateful to her. She really made it happen.
Oh, that's great to hear because sometimes you can always get that one extra person to help you get over the line, but it was a good choice because the chemistry was there.
She's amazing. I think I think she wanted to help another female filmmaker. I think she really liked the script and she went on after that to direct her first film. So it was fun to kind of cheer her on as she did it as well.
Well, I liked Thomas, I liked Andrea, but I've got to say Odessa. I really liked her. I hadn't seen a lot of Odessa Rae, but another good
I
casting
love your
choice.
attention to detail. I mean, Odessa is actually my one of my real life closest friends, and now becoming she's an actress, and she's also becoming a super famous producer. She produced the movie Navalny, which won the Oscar, and now she's got another film in Venice. She's becoming a really successful producer.
Oh, I really like her. I hope I get to see more of her, and I'll look
I
up.
know she's incredible, and she does speak all those languages, and she's a friend of mine. I'm just really impressed by her. She's really amazing.
That was a really well written scene because you're glued to see what she's going to say next, and then the subtitles.
No, I because I mean she's so white and her like red hair, and then she speaks fluent Japanese and she speaks Tamil. She speaks all these languages, and she's really an interesting person.
Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence, but your name is Anne in this movie, Chosen Family. One of my favorite roles of yours is Annie Matthews in Sidewalks in New York. I thought you were channeling Diane Keaton in that movie. I thought it
Oh
was
wow!
fantastic. I love that movie. And in Twin Peaks, your name was Annie as well. So Twin Peaks is one of the greats,
Wow, you are
obviously.
an encyclopedia of knowledge. I am really impressed you remember all that.
Was it a coincidence or you just chose to call yourself Anne?
I think it was a coincidence. I had a friend, Anne, and it made me think of it. But yeah, you're right. I didn't actually make that connection.
Yeah,
You have a
well,
better memory than I have.
well, you're very Diane Keaton inside Sidewalks in New York with the clothes and just the glasses and everything.
Love
Great
Diane
movie.
Keaton. I mean, you
And
couldn't
I
do
mean, Twin
better.
Peaks speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Look, what's the longevity of Heather Graham? How have you been in this business for so long and been so successful? Have you got a secret? Is there anything that you do, or do you just choose wisely when it comes to most of your roles?
Well, I think it's a mixture of, working hard, being talented, being in the right place at the right time, and just having a lot of stamina. I just keep at it and I love it. So I love what I'm doing. And when I show up on set, I'm just so happy to be there. And I think you can feel that.
Speaking of accents and languages with Odessa, you did a pretty successful British accent in Misconception and From Hell. But
Yeah.
what about Australian? Do you think you could do an Australian accent if required?
I did have a dialect coach in both of those films that was helped me, but I would love to do an Australian accent. It's not something I could just pull out, that I feel like I already have it, but I would absolutely love to do that.
What were the challenges of the independent film scene for you, making it? Is it different than being acting in one than directing? Because you've done a lot of
The
indie
biggest
films.
challenge is raising money. And just to be totally honest with you, a lot of films they want, famous men. So to do a film that has, a female star is more challenging. But yeah, just getting the money is a huge challenge. And then of course, having your creative vision, working that out with the person who's giving you the money and trying to kind of find a happy medium between what they want and what you want.
Do you have a director's chair with your name on it, Heather?
Uh, I do have some of chairs saved throughout the years from different things I've worked on. Yeah.
What do you hope that people will get out of Chosen Family when they watch it? I mean, you're talking to me from Australia. Everyone's going to be seeing it around the world, hopefully, and streaming in particular has brought that out so people can see movies where they generally might not have if it wasn't theatrical. What do you want people to get out of Chosen Family?
Well, I'm so grateful that you are watching it in Australia and that we're talking about it. It's great. I mean, when I wrote the movie, I wanted to explore, dysfunctional family dynamics and how you can really hate a dynamic, but then weirdly, you can get in a relationship and have the same dynamic as you had with your family that you're trying to basically escape. And just to celebrate friends who are your chosen family. I wanted to celebrate that I have had some really beautiful friendships in my life that have been so loving and supportive and that have felt like a family and they feel like my chosen family.
Well, it worked. I really enjoyed it, and I
Oh,
hope people get to see it. Anything you can tell me what's up next for you? Are you acting? Got any more movies
well,
in the
I
pipeline you're
think
writing?
the biggest thing that I have coming up is this studio film that I did called They Will Kill You. That's a Paramount film, and it's a mixture of a horror action comedy. And I got to do stunts and cool scenes. It was really fun. I worked with Zazie Beetz and Patricia Arquette and this really cool director. And and yeah, I'm writing something new. It's called Triggered. And I'm also working on turning Leanne Moriarty's book, Hypnotist Love Story, into a film or TV show. So fingers crossed about that.
You haven't done a lot of horror. Blessed, I can remember Blessed, but is horror a genre that's you'd be like
Well,
to
I
do a
did
little
do
bit
I don't
more
know if
of?
you watched, Suitable Flesh, but that's something that I did recently, and,
Yeah, I
I
have
just
actually on Shutter. Yeah,
so that was fun, and then I just did a remake of The Entity. I don't know, it hasn't come out yet, but that was the Barbara Hershey Entity
yeah,
movie about the haunting of Doris Byther, and, I'm just actually working on the new Carrie TV show that Mike Flanagan's, doing, remaking, Stephen King's Carrie
yeah.
as a TV show on Amazon.
Well, Piper Laurie was in Twin Peaks. You were in Twin Peaks. Piper Laurie was in Carrie. There's a link there.
I'm randomly getting more horror things now, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I did forget about Suitable Flesh. I did see it with you and Jonathan. So you're right. You are starting to do a little bit more horror, which I
Starting to
think
do more,
is
and I
good for
guess
you.
From Hell with Johnny Depp, that was another horror.
Yeah,
But no, interestingly enough, like just recently I have, gotten more horror, and They Will Kill You. It's a really interesting mixture of genres. It's almost as if you take kind of a Kill Bill type vibe and then make it slightly more horror,
yeah,
because there's a lot of comedy and it's cool and there's a lot of action. So it's kind of a unique tone. This new
yeah,
Russian director, his name is Kirill Sokolov, and the people that did the movie It are producers. So
yeah.
it's elevated horror.
Well, I know we have to wrap up, but I spoke to Ione Sky recently, and she sort of told me that she had rivals in the industry. Other actors getting roles that she went for. Did that happen to you a lot, growing up in Hollywood? Were you going for roles that you didn't get? Did you have any rivals?
I mean, I think there's always people where you think, wow, I wish I was getting those roles. I don't know if they were specifically rivals, but no, there's definitely people that I admire their work and their careers and think, God, I wish I would have had that movie.
I love your career. It's a roller coaster, but it's really good. Bowfinger is
Roller
another one
coaster.
I
I'm
love.
grateful. I'm still working, and I'm so grateful to be talking to you and still getting to do what I love.
Well, I'm a romantic at heart. I live near the ocean, so I loved Rhode Island. I love Chosen Family. Uh,
Great.
it's almost like the perfect date movie in some ways. So, congratulations and best of luck with the success of that and whatever comes next, as we
You
just
live in
spoke about.
Sydney, or where do you live by the ocean?
Pacific Ocean. So, I live just north of Sydney, and
Wow.
it's about an hour north of Sydney. So, just there is the beach. Just
Wow.
sort
That
of
sounds
across the
incredible.
road. Can you
What's the
surf? There's a question I wanted to ask you. Can you
No,
surf?
I wish. I wish. I wish I knew how to surf, but I don't. But what's the name of the where you live? I'm just curious.
Yeah, Terrigal. Starts with a
Okay.
T.
Cool.
T